Wait, that's not the intimate Italian. Aldo's not even Italian. He's just dressed up for I don't know what he's dressed up for. Anyway, we're having an intimate Italian dinner. After last episode's big birthday brunch for my wife, I decided to hold a more cozy dinner. So Marilyn and I are going to entertain only one couple this week. That means I get to indulge in one of my all-time favorite Italian dishes, Osso Buco. That's not all we're serving, of course. And this will taste even better than it reads. I think my guests are going to enjoy this. No, that's not the intimate Italian. What's he doing here anyway? Aldo, why are you here? And that ass cut. Why? It's Thursday, the day before the dinner party, and we're going to start the advanced preparations. We'll begin with the bone marrow for the risotto, and I'm going to roast this for about 15 minutes at 450 degrees. The oven has been pre-warmed. And after that starts separating, I'll pull it out and let it cool a little bit and push the marrow out. Next, we're going to start the pate fermenté for the bread, and I've mixed together already a cup and an eighth of regular all-purpose flour and a cup and 1/8 of bread flour. And to that, I'm going to mix 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. And into that, I'm going to mix about 3/4 of a cup of room temperature water. We'll leave a little bit in reserve. We're going to mix this up until it forms a shaggy ball. Alright, there we have the ball. Now I'm going to knead it at a medium-low speed. So what we're going to do now is put this in an oiled bowl and let it sit at room temperature for about an hour. Looks like the marrow is ready, so I'm going to take that out, let it cool down a little bit, and push it out of the bone. I need about 4 or 5 tablespoons for tomorrow. I have about 5 pounds of marrow bones here, and I'm going to take the extra and spread it on some toast for a snack. And there's the marrow. The pate fermenté has been sitting for about an hour at room temperature, and I'm going to knead it very lightly just to degas it, and then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator about 6 to 8 hours, and then we'll start making the pane Siciliano. It's time now to start the cannoli shells. I have 2 cups of flour, and into that I'm going to add some sugar and salt. If you need the exact measurements, check out the website. And I'm going to sit this into a bowl. I softened at room temperature a tablespoon and a half of butter, and I'm going to work that into the flour with my fingers. I'm now going to mix into the flour mixture an egg yolk. I'm going to use a fork for that. And now I'm going to mix in some homemade limoncello, about a tablespoon at a time. I'm going to divide this dough mixture up into 2 parts. I'm going to flatten each part out on a piece of plastic. And you can see it's just kind of loosely clinging together. And I'm going to refrigerate these for about half an hour. I'm turning now to the tapenade for the antipasto salad, and it calls for green olives, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little color in it with some red olives. And what we're going to do is mix these olives. We've got about 8 ounces worth. We're going to blend these up in the food processor. Anchovy fillets, 3 basil leaves, garlic, minced garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, and capers. It's a good tapenade. Now I'm going to make the salad dressing for the antipasto salad, and we're going to start with some olive oil, red wine vinegar, 3 minced garlic cloves, dry oregano, and lemon juice, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Good. I'm going to continue now with the cannoli shells, and I've taken one of the 2 discs out of the refrigerator, and what I'm going to do is roll this down to about 1/16 of an inch, really pretty thin. And while I'm rolling this, I am heating about 1 quart of oil to 360 degrees. I've taken a bowl, it's about 3.5 inches, and I'm going to start making the cannoli shapes. So I'm going to press the bowl down, run a knife around it, and now I'm going to roll these around the cannoli molds. And I'm going to put a little bit of egg wash. I've mixed a tablespoon of water, the egg, to help it seal. And then you want to curl up the ends just a little bit, flare them out to help them release. Alright, we're right about down to temperature. And we're going to go about a minute for these. You can put 1 or 2 in at a time. And there are the cannoli shells. I'm going to put these in an airtight container overnight. We'll leave them out at room temperature, and then tomorrow, just before dessert, I will fill these with the filling that will be made tomorrow. The pâté fermenté has been chilling in the refrigerator for about 8.5 hours. So now I'm going to cut it up into 10 pieces or so and cover it with a towel, and we're going to let it warm. I've oiled this bowl, and I'm going to let this sit at room temperature for 2 hours, and then I'll shape it, and after that it's time for bed. It's been 2 hours since I put the dough in, and you can see it's risen substantially. So what we're going to do is as gently as possible scrape it out of the bowl. We're going to divide it into 3 parts. I'm I'm now going to shape the dough into batards. Google, give me a 5-minute timer.
Okay, 5 minutes. Starting now.
I'm now going to form the distinctive shapes of the pane siciliano, and what we want to do first is gently roll and stretch each of these out to about 24 inches. Now I'm going to curl the ends in towards the center, and it'll look like a musical treble clef, or an S. I'm going to spray a bit of water on this and sprinkle sesame seeds on top. And finally, I'm going to spray oil on these. And loosely cover these. These are going to go into the refrigerator overnight, and we'll take them out tomorrow and bake them for the dinner party. So it's now about 11:20. I don't have to get started cooking until after 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I can take care of a couple other things before that. And that's it for today. So we'll get started mid-morning tomorrow.